we're going to be making sourdough bread. Sourdough is something I started doing during COVID, and I found ways to make it so it's not an all-day task, because I didn't always have all day to work on sourdough, so I found like the most effective way for me to continue to do sourdough, but without it taking up all of my time and my resources. So I just took 300 grams off my starter to make this. So I'm going to add in 150 of flour and 150 of water. This is organic bleached or unbleached all-purpose flour. I started milling my own recently, but I don't feel like I know what I'm talking about to use it in sourdough just yet. Alright, so after putting in 150 grams of flour and 150 grams of water with the starter as it is, you just take it and you mix it around. Let it sit on the counter so it goes through a feed cycle where it's going to rise all the way to about the top of this container, and then once it starts to fall, I always throw it in the fridge. You can keep your starter in the fridge for up to 2 weeks without touching it. I've even gone up to 3 weeks before. I had to kind of limp it along back to life when I went 3 weeks, but 2 weeks is easy to use. I haven't touched this particular batch right here in close to 2 weeks now, and it'll be fine. It'll work. I know there's a lot of stuff on when you watch how to make sourdough that seems so overwhelming, because I feel like they overcomplicate it, or they make it feel like you have to feed it every day, or you have to have so many stretch and folds, and it makes it scary to start. So I hope that this won't be scary for someone that wants to start sourdough but is afraid to, because all the information out there is over the top. So that's fed. It's going to sit over here and rise and fall all day. To make 2 sandwich loaves of sourdough, you start with 300 grams of starter, 540 grams of water, 50 grams of olive oil. You can use other oils too, just prefer olive oil. You whisk that around. So we're mixing it until I don't feel any starter in here. Looks good. Next, we're adding 1,000 grams of flour, 20 grams of salt, and then the fastest way to mix it. So usually I would get this started first thing when I wake up, and then I get the kids up and ready and get them fed so that they're getting ready for school, and then I can do one stretch and fold before I have to leave for work. So the fastest way to mix this, because not everybody has 30 minutes in the morning to make bread, is to come down to the water, up, and then push it. And it's messy on your hand, I know, but we don't all have time to knead all day long. But you just go around several times, coming from the bottom up to the top, and push. Bottom, down to the top, and push. And you can get this mixed up pretty good within 4 or 5 minutes. One good thing about sourdough is that you don't have to knead it so much to develop the gluten in it. You're letting your fermented parts of the starter do a lot of the work for you, and it's good for your gut health. Alright, it's starting to look pretty good here. Once you don't really see any clumps of flour anymore, clean off your hands as good as you can. Just try to make it as neat as a ball as possible. There's still a little bit of flour in that. I'm going to mix it a little longer. And then this is perfectly acceptable. It doesn't look pretty yet, but now you can go about your morning and get people fed, get people ready, get ready to get out the door, and then we'll do a stretch and fold before we leave, and that'll make it pretty. We'll give the sourdough time to awaken and start to rise, and then it'll be prettier once we stretch it and fold it over. It'll look more like a regular dough of bread that you would expect it to look like. So cover this, leave it alone for about 30 minutes. All right, we're gonna do a stretch and fold. So you start at the top of your bowl, and you reach under and grab, and pull it up towards you until it's about to tear. And you tuck it on the other side of the bowl. Turn the bowl 90 degrees. We're gonna do that 4 times. So stretch as far as you can before it starts to tear. Tuck, 90 degrees. Stretch, tuck. Last one. And then that makes it a much prettier ball than what we started with. And now it's ready to be left alone all day to rise. You can do another stretch and fold in 30 minutes if you're able to, but for most people, you get up in the morning, you gotta go to work, and you're not gonna be home till in the evening. So you get this done first thing in the morning, get one more stretch and fold before you leave, and let it set all day. And at night you can bake the day. This has been rising for probably 9 hours. But it's hot outside, so I had it covered real well and stuck it out in the garage. And it actually got stuck on the top of it, pushed up with its cover. But it's just a big, fluffy start. And it is, you can see the levels of where the sourdough starter has really made it big. This is the starter itself. It's not all the way through yet. I'm not gonna put it in the fridge yet. It needs to rise for a little bit longer, but looking good. It's happy with the food we fed it earlier. The last part of this is where you actually shape it and then put it to rise for a second time for 20 minutes or so, and then you start preheating your oven, and then you actually bake it. So this is the last little bit. It's not much longer now until I have sourdough bread and like loaves. If you are looking to make sourdough that is got tons of shapes and tons of fancy cutouts and is gonna wow people and impress them, this is not the video for you. This is sourdough if you just want your kids to have fermented food, but you don't have time to make anything fancy. Then this is the sourdough for you, because I'm not going to score it fancy at all. It's just going to be bread that we can eat. That's better for you than regular white bread. All right, so I've dumped it out of the bowl into a big blob. This is going to make 2 loaves, so I'm going to cut it into 2. This one's a little bit wet. I probably put a little too much water in it. But now, get that piece. Now I'm flattening it out. I tuck the sides in, and then I start rolling it very hard and connect the ends to make a loaf. Stick it in the pan and let it rise for a little bit more. And then same thing, kind of let the air pop out. Tuck in the sides, roll, and you've got your second loaf. Once again, this is not the fancy method. This is the get it done method. All right, when scoring it, there's a lot of different options, and if you want something fancy, I'm sure you can find somebody else to do that. Sometimes I don't even score it, but I usually just cut relief cuts with a super sharp knife just so there's a little bit of room for it. If you don't cut them, the only thing that happens is it just has a crack in it, and usually to the side. So, not too difficult. Just take a super sharp knife, break the surface tension of it, and then they go in the oven for, it's at 450. You put, or it preheats to 450. You put both breads in, and then you drop the temperature to 400 and set the timer for 20 minutes. Okay, it's been 20 minutes, and so we're going to take the lids off and bake for an additional 30 minutes. Let me get these lids off and then I'll give you a peek. So it's starting to come up real nice. And now we're gonna get its color with the lids off. So 30 more minutes. All right, it's been 30 minutes. Let's take a look, see how it turned out. Close one. So after we bake it, take it out. If you don't take it out, it'll burn because these are hot stones. We take it out and set it on a cooling rack, and it's hot to go for, and it's not coming out. You hope for it to cool for about an hour before you cut into it. That rarely happens. They're going to eat it soon. But
eat it fast.
That's how I make sourdough. I've been doing it for about 5 years. It's the quickest way I found, and it took a long time to get over the fear of it because I would listen to all these complicated methods, and but I found my own method now, and it tastes delicious. So thanks for watching.